The easiest way to do it, once you've threaded your elastic through the top, is to just double over the last couple of inches of elastic. It's exactly the same as tying a loop knot in your line. It's doubled over. The doubled over piece wraps around my finger. The loop on the end passes underneath the piece that I've wrapped around my finger, and then you let it pull tight. You're left with a loop and a free end, exactly the same as a loop in the end of your line. All that's left to do is trim the ends, trim the tag end, trim off both parts of the loop, and you're left there with the crow's foot or spider on the end of your elastic. You can now attach the rig behind. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. If you want to make a slightly bigger loop to ensure that the elastic won't slip inside the bush, take a shorter piece of elastic, preferably a thicker elastic, and also a different colour's useful. You can use a real high-vis colour on this if you want to. Lay it alongside the elastic that's in your pole. I've used a piece that's about 6 inches long. Double both of those over. So you've now effectively got 4 strands that are making the loop. Wrap all of those 4 strands around your finger as before, pass the loop underneath all of those pieces that are wrapped around your finger, and pull down into a knot. Trim off all of those loose ends. We have 3 tag ends that are loose behind the knot, 4 strands forming 2 loops. Trim those, and you now have a knot that won't pull through even the biggest of bushes. And including the main part of the elastic as well, it has 8 separate little legs on it. That's a proper spider there on the end. So how do you attach a rig to the end of your crow's foot elastic connector? Well, at the top end of your rig, with the line, you need to double that back to make a loop. Ideally, this loop that you make will be around 3 to 4 inches. Give it a lick, of course, because we're talking about monofilament line. Twist it around. I like to give that an extra twist to form my loop knot. Pass the looping through the knot that I've created. Pull it down tight. That's step 1. You now have a 2 to 3 inch long loop in the end of your main line. In this loop that you've created, make a smaller loop towards the end, preferably about ½ an inch to 1 inch long. So on the end of your main line now, you have a loop 2 to 3 inches long with a shorter ½ inch loop in the end. The ½ inch loop in the end is to release the rig from the elastic. The bigger loop is to attach the rig to your elastic. If you open out the bigger loop, then anywhere below that bigger loop in your main line, pull an extra loop up. Pass this through the middle of the large loop. You have this loop now in the main line that goes over the top of the crow's foot. You can now pull the rig down tight. That's slid on there, it's locked on. There's no way that's coming off. If a fish pulls, all that happens is the line goes tighter onto the elastic. To release this rig from the elastic, you pull the smaller loop and it all opens up again. This can now pass back over the crow's foot and release the rig from your elastic.